Alrighty everyone, welcome back for another video. We are officially on day 2 of the Pythion fusion event. In my last video I said that I really wouldn't get started making any substantial progress on this event until day 2. That's because we were waiting on dungeon divers to open up as well as champ chase so we could quadruple dip in points essentially. So if we take a look, Dungeon Divers is now open, so we can take a look at the points we'll need. 3350 is the amount of points for 5 fragments, and they continue to substitute old rewards with these new anniversary points, which is really frustrating, but what are you gonna do? Everything leading up to the fragments, except for maybe the core hammers, is pretty useless, so most likely I will just be getting the champion fragments and stopping there. As far as champ chase, if it'll load. So we have essentially 3 days to complete champ chase. 2500 is the point threshold for the maximum amount, but we also have 2 legendary books here. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go for one of the legendary books or stop at the max fragment of 2500. It probably depends on my RNG for my shards. So if you didn't know, Champ Chase is different from Summon Rush, and that Champ Chase is based off of the rarity of the champion you pull, not the type of shard you pull. So if we go to info, you'll see that commons and uncommons are both worth 1 point. Rares are worth 10. Epic champions are worth 250, legendaries are worth 500. For voids, rares are 50 instead of 10, epics are 350 instead of 250, and legendaries are 650 instead of 500. This also coincides with a 2x ancient that started today. So you can see the portals glow in blue. That means 2x ancients. If we go to the info tab, we can see that the rare drop rate has dropped from 91.5 to 83. The epic drop rate has increased from 16, or from 8 to 16, sorry. And then the legendary, oh boy, from 0.5% to 1%. So keep your expectations in check. You know, not every shard you pull is going to be a legendary, and not every other champion you pull is going to be an epic. You still have a very high chance to pull rares. And so as of right now, my goal is not to drop below 150 ancients, just to make sure that I could participate in a guaranteed guaranteed legendary event for ancients if they do decide to drop one. So at most, as of right now, this is before clan boss reset, so hopefully I'll get some more shards, but the plan right now is not to pull more than 32 shards to keep our ancient shard stock high. And then as far as voids and sacreds, I have no definitive plans. And then I also have fragments I can summon. And if I had to guess, I mean, this tie is worth 350. That's probably worth pulling. And then I'd like to pull Mighty Uko to build for Hydra and Arena, but these will be after I've pulled shards. So we'll pull shards first, and I'll make a separate video of that. Just wanting to go over the plan for today. So the plan for today is finish Ice Golem. If we go back, you can see I haven't done anything in Ice Golem. We got to get to 2250. We're at 0. So we'll run Ice Golem today. and we'll double dip into Dungeon Divers. Just gonna go for the 2250. Don't care about the epic book. So we'll stop there, and then we will run a bunch of food farming in campaign. So we'll go here. We'll farm these up to level 20. Let's see. So we'll just start this. These runs usually take about, I don't know, 7-8 seconds. And so we'll get all these guys to 20, and then we'll upgrade them to 3 stars. And then I'll show you my process of getting the most amount of points for the event. It takes about 10 runs in total to take a 2-star to 20 in 12-3 Brutal. I don't really farm Nightmare. I know my ethos can farm Nightmare, but in terms of time versus XP gained, it's faster for me to run 12-3 Brutal. Also, while I'm doing this, if I get any champions, those will also count towards champion chase, albeit, 1 point for the uncommon and 10 points for the rare, but it's still free points, so that's nice. So now that I have those 320s, just go into the tavern, make him a 3-star. Yes. Make him a 3-star. And another 3-star. Now this next part's important because I'm not going to use any of these chickens to level up food, because that would be a waste in terms of points. If I'm in a crunch for time and I haven't prepped properly, or I'm just in a rush, I'll use these. But since we're not in a rush, we have plenty of time and we want to be as efficient as we can with our points, we are going to level our food before we feed it into it. So never do this. Never feed level 1 food during a champion training event or tournament. To get the most amount of points, you want to put a couple levels into your food before you feed it. I don't do that with 1-stars, and I don't do it with 2, but I do start doing it with 2-stars, or I do start doing it with 3 stars, and then 4, and then 5. So instead of feeding these guys at level 1, what we're going to do is go here, find our 3 stars. Here's 1. And we're going to put 2 brews into it. That's going to give us 15 levels. That's all we need. It's going to give us points even though it doesn't pop up. It's going to give us points for the event. So put a couple more levels in this one. Find another one. Do the same thing. Only 2 brews. Don't need much. Got a forge pass done. That's nice. So then go back, and now we'll feed our 3 stars that are now level 15, and this will give us more points than just feeding them at level 1. We also got this done, so we get more energy. We get another shard, which is good, and then we can start working on our fresh quests again. So we'll definitely do this, we'll do that, get the energy. Do I have 4 stars available and ready? This guy's food. Are my 4 stars? Okay, so we have a good amount of 4 stars. So I'll probably, let's do that. Let's level some 4 stars now. All right, so again, we're gonna take our food and we're gonna put 3 brews into this one. That's just gonna give us more points. Find another 4 star. These are all 3s. All right, 3 brews here. And we're going to do this for all of our champs. Like I said, 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars. We're all going to make sure that we put brews or levels into them through campaign before we feed them. We're not going to feed them at level 1 because that's just going to be a waste of points. We're going to leave points on the table. It's going to take us longer. It's going to be less energy efficient. And that's just not what we want to do. I believe that's 3 4 stars we leveled. Let's level 1 more. And now we should be able to upgrade 2, 3, 4, and you see they all have levels into them. So I put 3 brews in each one of these, relatively cheap. Even though I have plenty of brews, I still only put 3 into them just to make sure I have a healthy stockpile. And you don't need to go crazy leveling up champions before you feed them. Just never feed them at level 1. So now we have a 5-star chicken. Simple as that. Claim some gems. Don't need the XP. That's nice. We get 500 free energy for a survey that we did on Reddit. If you guys didn't see that, sorry. But a lot of content creators put out a video on this, so I went ahead and did this, and now we get 500 energy. Is that gonna sit? Yeah, that'll sit in our inbox. Okay. And here we go. We got some points for champ training. Already at 1298. Now, all those points weren't from what I just showed you. I think I got about 400 or 500 points yesterday just leveling my 1 stars to 2 and 2 stars to 3, but that's all I did yesterday. As you can see, we're not that far, and minimum we have to get to is 8,000, but I'm probably going to push for 12 just for the legendary book, just because legendary books are hard to come by now that they're replacing our rewards with these worthless anniversary points, and because you'll never regret overtraining in terms of going for the maximum reward. You can never have too many chickens. You can never have too many 60s. So this is really a good time to push champ training. So we'll push for the 12K, but if we don't get it, we're not going to be devastated. And I think that's it. We got artifact enhancement tomorrow. I have plenty of artifacts currently on champions that I know I need to upgrade. And I do need to do a bit of a gear cleanse because I think I'm capped on gear. And the tournament coming up tomorrow is Classic Arena. This is really easy. I'll probably just put a 1-man defense in, drop down, and then speed farm my way back up. I assume a lot of other people will be putting in 1-man defenses, so not worried about completing this at all. This is probably the easiest tournament / event that we'll have in any fusion. So not worried about that. Today we'll just finish Ice Golem. We will most likely finish Champ Chase, and then we will hopefully, but not necessarily, finish Champ Training. Again, we have plenty of time on these. We don't need to rush, but if you have the time and you're capable, like myself, of just sitting down and playing, then we'll see how far we can get. Alright, that'll do it for the video today. I will be posting my shard pulls whenever that happens. And hopefully we get some good RNG, but if not, I think I'm 50 or 60 shards away on Ancients from Mercy. I don't plan on pulling that many, so probably won't hit Mercy, but that's good for two reasons. One, I can save it for a good 10x event, or I can save it if they do a 2-for-1 legendary event, which, if you didn't know, they run periodically, where they'll do a 2-for-1 if you pull a legendary from Ancient Shards or Sacred. Sometimes they'll give you 2 legendaries instead of 1, so they'll give you a bonus. So being close to Mercy but not hitting it will be good for those 2 occasions. So yeah, that's it for the video. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know how your progress is going. What are you working on today? What sort of roadblocks are you seeing that are keeping you from completing certain events or tournaments in the Fusion? And also, if you have any suggestions on stuff that you want me to share. But I'm going to be making videos every day, talking about my progress, showing what I'm doing. And, oh, before we go, I'll show you my Ice Golem team real quick. So, I'm not a fan of Ice Golem. You can see I can do stage 25 in a minute and a half. I'm just going to be doing stage 20 because I don't really care about these gear sets, except for Reflex, and they don't even have, I thought they had regeneration, but I guess that's Fire Knight. So yeah, Reflex is really the only set I care about here, and I'm not too stressed about getting a bunch of Reflex gear. So I'm just going to run 20 and sell everything basically that's not 6-star legendary. But this is my team. It's basically just a poison explosion team that resets with Kymar. I'll just run an example real quick so you get to see that. And hopefully it doesn't fail. I don't think this team ever fails, as every champion in here is either neutral or positive affinity. You see, we just load them up with poisons, and then Eleanor will combust and kills everyone. Kymar goes into reset. We do it all again on wave 2. And then they're dead, and we're at the boss in 20 seconds. So from here, you know, they'll just stack poison on the boss and his minions. That'll tick away at them. We have Duchess here for the protection and the res in case anything goes wrong. She can pretty much tank anything, so we're not worried about that. Kymar reset. His debuff bar is already filled up, so they can't stack more poisons. He'll res his minions. Pretty easy auto team. We don't have to do anything here. Just wait. And I probably should have run a super raid. I think this is just a normal one, so I'll only get 1 drop instead of 2. Decrease speed, HP burn. I'll do another res. Get more poisons out. Should be sub 2 minutes, right? Hopefully. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to be running this in the background anyways while I'm doing other things, so not really concerned about time. Blowing up poisons. And there we go. A little over 2 minutes. 6-star rare piece. Actually not bad substats, but I don't think I'm ever going to use this. So there we go. Eleanor doing most of the damage with her combustibility. Tomb Lord and Dark Kill with over 1 million. Pretty good. And that is what we'll be doing. So we'll just be farming stage 20, getting that done. If you're just starting out, your early mid game, I'd say the lowest stage you should be farming is 13. This is where you start going from 4 to 5 to 4 to 6, so you can start getting 6-star gear. That'll give you more points towards the event, and it'll give you more points in Dungeon Divers as well. So I'd say minimum 13. If you can't get there, obviously as high as you can get to. If you have no problem here and you don't care about any of these gear sets, I'd say farm 20. It's probably going to be your fastest for the higher stages. And then if you do care about the gear, or there is a specific set you're looking for, 24, 25, depending on the affinity of the champs you have. But yeah, okay, so that is going to do it for the video now. I'll post a shard pull later. Hopefully RNG is good. And then I'll be back for day 3, talk about our progress. Take care.